Hello everyone and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Showboat. Today is Sunday, December 29th, 2019. If you are watching the VOD on YouTube, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you are so inclined, head on over to twitch.tv/otakushowboat to leave a follow to be notified when I go live Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to approximately 1 p.m. US Eastern Time. You can do all of the social stuff through the links in the description below the video, including supporting Pyanodon at patreon.com/Pyanodon and myself at patreon.com/OtakuShowboat. And you can, of course, join my Discord server to get access to any of the Factorio blueprints that you want that I make, that I use, and all that good stuff. So today, the first thing to note, as I like keep looking over and checking my settings, 89 dropped frames in the intro thus far, 1.8%. Streaming at 3,000 kilobits per second, which is a little less than normal, but is twice the amount that I have been over the past week. I did a router restart just prior to starting the stream, and that seemed to have it definitely improved the download and the upload rate for this particular restart in the system. But I can see that I I think that it will degrade over the course of the stream, so I'll just have to keep watch on that. We shall see about that. But for now, everything is fine and awesome. So, hello everyone. This is the first Factorio stream after Christmas time. So, hope everyone had a wonderful holiday. I definitely had a wonderful time on Christmas Day. I talked a bit about this on the Morrowind stream, actually, which was the day after Christmas. So yeah, I'll just reiterate that for folks who don't watch the Morrowind streams. So for Christmas, I gave my mother a copy of two movies, of Mrs. Doubtfire and Interview with the Vampire, as part of a longer term goal of replacing a number of our old VHS tapes with disc media. I mean, both of these you can probably just stream now, but we do like having still physical copies of things, and we're just trying to get rid of VHS tapes. So that's what I got for my mother. Now, her boyfriend, I got a copy of How To by the XKCD artist Randall Monroe. I didn't really know what to get him, but that seemed to be something that interested him in the end. He was intrigued by this book, How To, from Randall Monroe. He particularly liked the preface, like the intro, the warning not to try what you're about to read at home, because the author may not have the reader's best interest in mind, because they like explosions and fire and all this great stuff. So yeah, that made him laugh. Anyway, so what did I get? A few things. A few things. I'll reiterate. My birthday was the wallet, new wallet, and collection of mana for the Switch game, and Kingdom Hearts 3 for PS4. That was birthday the last Sunday. Christmas, I got 2 avocados. Everyone got fruit, so I got avocados. Also got chocolate. Chocolate. This Montezuma's Absolute Black chocolate. Do remember that I'm technically on a low carb diet. Maybe not so much this particular holiday season. This stuff has like 1 net carb per serving or 2 net carbs per serving of the chocolate. So yeah, that was nice. Also, these things that I'll probably never eat, these Trader Joe's dark chocolate peanut butter cups. These are like 6 carbs per cup, like 6 carbs each cup, and probably the most egregious thing would be these dark chocolate peppermint JoJo things. These things are like 17 carbs net per cookie, like each. 16, excuse me, 16 net carbs per cookie. Just to reiterate, the goal is to be less than 20 total in a day. So that's a little bit much. Yeah, I did get non-food things as well, in which included a wrist rest for the keyboard and the mouse. I got wrist rests for the keyboard and the mouse, and a copy of Game of Thrones season 8, which we have not seen, but we know what happens. We own the entirety of the rest of the series, so we needed to get 8 at this point, just to finish it off and say we're done now. Also, for games, Tales of Vesperia for the Nintendo Switch, Mega Man 11 for the Switch, Nier, Automata, Game of the Yorha Edition for PS4, and a $25 Walmart gift card. Guess who that was from? Yeah. Anyway, so that was gifts. That was gifts. Already read the spoilers, read and watched the spoilers, basically. So yeah, we know what happens there. I don't see why people got so mad at it, to be completely honest. It's dumb entertainment. That's all it is, and it's all it ever was and forever will be. So the dinner we had, I had made mashed cauliflower for the dinner, but we had ham and Portuguese style peas, which is just it's peas with linguiça sausage. That's the best way to explain it. It's peas with linguiça sausage, which linguiça is a Portuguese sausage, uh, similar to chorizo, which there's also a Portuguese version of that sausage, and we had a mix of the two actually this time. We had these fish, like little fish balls of cod, bacalhau, salted cod, another Portuguese thing. And there was a sweet potato, sweet casserole dish that I didn't have because it's sweet potatoes and that's a lot of carbs. But I had everything else, and of course we had salad and all that good stuff. And then desserts, we still had my birthday cake that I had made, my low carb birthday cake, and then the my mother had made a homemade fruit cake with lots and lots of alcohol, lots and lots and lots and lots of alcohol. So that's a thing that has been uh, slowly but surely eaten over the course of this week. So that was the holiday. That's the spiel on the holiday. As I see that the frames continue to drop. We're at 14.7% drop frames right now. I think that there's probably just a little bit of a spike during that talk there. So yeah, that's what I want to say. Factorio. Let's get into Factorio because there's actually a lot to talk about today. We have 2 new mods, or 2 different mods that have been added. One of which is a expansion of Deadlock's stacking for Pyanodon's stuff. And this particular version is one that's not on the mod portal. It's in the forum, but this one's called it's Pyanodon's 5 stacking, or something along those lines, because it's Pyanodon's 4 deadlock stacking is the basic version of that mod, and this one is Pyanodon's 5 stacking. Let's go down this list here if I can remember what the actual name is. It's called Deadlock Stacking 5 Pyanodons, I think. Yeah. Deadlock's Stacking 5 Pyanodon. Instead of FOR, it's 5. Because they're cute. But this mod does not exist on the mod portal. It is available through the Deadlock's Stacking 4 Pyanodon. This mod, not in the mod portal, but in the forum discussion thread for Deadlock's Stacking 4 Pyanodon, there is someone who posted a link to Stacking 5, who just, they posted it there. What does it allow stacking of? Think every single intermediate of Pyra ores. Think every new Pyanodon ore, every Pyanodon product, every intermediate in every circuit chain as well, as far as I can tell. It adds a ton of stuff that it allows stacking for in Pyanodon. So that's what this does. It does a lot. Adds a lot of stuff that can be stacked. Why did I not start with this? Well, I didn't really intend on doing stacking to begin with. And then also, I had tried to add this mod to the Pyanodon's Off the Rails map, and it wasn't working. It crashed the save when I tried to load that save. So I had thought that you couldn't add it to an existing save. Well, it's potentially just that the map was too old, and it just was a function of the age of the map and the versions of the mods and the particular mod set that I was running at the time. So it has worked now. It is working now, and I can load the save, and it's just fine with this particular playthrough. The other mod, because I have added 2 mods, is Train Supply Manager, or TSM. I will attempt to learn this off-screen, but I make no guarantees as to whether or not I will actually use it. Much like in the Pyanodon's Off the Rails stream, where I started it with the Logistic Train Network, LTN. I started that playthrough with LTN, and it became a railless playthrough. Ergo, off the rails. It became a playthrough where I didn't lay any track whatsoever, so I ended up having the mod and never used it. Here, I'm going to try to at least attempt to learn Train Supply Manager. We shall see. Anyway, on top of all of that nonsense, I did a lot off-screen. I did a lot off-screen. So, last time, and apparently stuff changed, so Realistic Ores is going to scan the map. The map has been a bit more revealed since the last time. I have done a little bit of exploration off-screen. Just a little bit. I wanted to reveal the one and only major chromium patch that is nearby ish. Like this is the only one that is close. Um, so I'll definitely have to be tapping into that at some point. I also went up over here to reveal this tar patch. So now we have the tar that's over here revealed and the tar that's up here revealed. And there's a big lead right there and more iron and nexolite and some crude oil, small oil patches and kimberlite and sulfur and uh, a smiley face, a this is totally a face, right? And this is like a really deformed body with like wings or something. This is disturbing. Anyway, and more nexlet and more lead and more lead and more lead. This is like lead central out here. Lots of lead and even more lead on the other side of the map. It's crazy. I think I have enough lead. Have I explored the map in creative? I did do a bit of exploration on a separate save of this map. Yes, a little bit. A bit. I took a big screenshot, so I have it as a reference to use for what's available. It's about to here that it shows, and then down. It's like this area, just a little bit more of this area exposed and a little bit more on the bottom, but otherwise, yeah, it's like that ish zone. Outside of that, like what's out here, what's way up here, what's way over here, and what's all down here, I have no idea. I needed to find chromium, so that's why is I needed to have an idea of where chromium was, where lead was, where quartz was, where molybdenum was, and aluminium. So I needed at least a patch of the major things that you need. I would need to know that position, especially if we're going to be spending a lot of resources on rails. I need to know these things, and it would take a lot of time of random wandering around to find them the usual way. So that is the explanation there. Now, you may notice that there's a few new things here. In particular, this whole bottom section of the map, I think, is pretty much brand new compared to the last stream. So I decided that I was going to do stacking with the belt boxes from Deadlocks. And the reason for that is because it allows me to do a single line of yellow belt all the way back up to my bus from an outpost. That is the reason to use the belt boxes at this point in time. In the previous stream, Ave was here and was talking about doing the belt boxes and the stacking, and I said at the time, it's like, oh, I don't really see that much of a point to it. Why would I want to run, or why would I need that extra throughput? Was the question that I had. Well, as it turns out, I found reasons to use the extra throughput. So here we've got coal, which is the equivalent of 5 yellow belts of coal that is now being sent up onto my bus, and I now have a spot for it on my bus next to a regular coal. And that is what is now being used to produce coal gas and tar from here. This is primarily coal gas, not so much the tar. The tar that gets made out of here goes into coal gas. So now we've got a dedicated supply of coal gas from over here. We've also got a dedicated coal to coke right here. This is a yellow belt of coke from a yellow belt of coal, the equivalent of. And remember that this stacking means I have 5. So from here on, it's like the equivalent of 4, and then the equivalent of like 3-ish from beyond there, plus the one above. So this is like out here, this is like 4. So you just have to keep in mind how much you've used and how much you need to use going forward. So that's the coal side of things. I have expanded the acetylene a little bit, just a smidge of expansion on the acetylene. Now that I have, the ability to make a whole bunch of coke, I decided to expand that out and do additional mining of the titanium, and not so much on the lead, but the titanium was really what I was interested in there, in expanding that. And with my extra coal gas, I am now mining a lot more aluminium. Not the full yellow belt of the aluminium, but enough to supply me with more sufficient quantities of duralumin. Number next. Now, in the previous episode, or in the previous stream, I got all the way up to here with the kick-alk. We started off the process for setting up circuits with all of this stuff, and we started getting a little bit of Nexlit out here from our stone-based tar. Remember the stone-based tar and the stone-based saline? Yeah, I needed a bit more stone. So I am now stacking 5 yellow belts of stone into a single yellow belt, and I have now brought the stone up and over onto the bus, the stacked stone, and that has its own line dedicated to itself down here. Now, all of the stone I mine from the starter section of the base, the starting zone, all of this stone is going into saline right now. All of this goes straight up to saline, and that consumes the entire thing. The stacked stone is currently being used right now for the tar. And the reason for that is this uses 20 per second of stone, not 15. So I have 2 stacking belt boxes to output the full amount. So that gives me that full building's worth of tar as needed. And it gives me some tailings that gets put onto here. Speaking of tailings, I expanded my fluid bus a little bit. Just a little bit, my fluid bus has been expanded. I have spots now for the tar, the coal gas, the acetylene, the creosote, the aromatics, the natural gas, the crude oil, the tailings, a slot for diborane gas, saline water, and a slot for syngas. We will ideally be doing both of these today. And speaking of the natural gas and the crude oil, yeah, I went ahead and I tapped this patch of small oil down here. This is, I think, 10 on the crude oil and like 8 on the natural gas. 7 on the natural gas. No, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 on the natural gas, and then 10 on crude oil to add to what I already have up in the starting area, right up here, of the natural gas and crude oil. Need to hook that up at some point, though. So, yeah, outside of that, the last major thing here. So where's the on the rails going to be? Seems like I'm putting a lot of work into a bus system. The bus will end at, like, once I can make my green science and I set up a mall. This is to feed a mall. Jessa. That's what this is for. It even though this seems like a lot to feed into a bus, a lot of this is to making buildings go faster, right? And making rail go faster. That's what this is primarily designed for, because the buildings in the mall that we're going to be feeding initially, at least, they're going to require a lot of circuits, and they're going to require a lot of raw resources in the form of iron and copper, especially copper, and a lot is going to be spent in stone and all of that good stuff. So yes, it may seem like a lot to feed into a bus, but this bus will terminate with green science and the initial bot-based mall. That's how far that's going to go. So right over here, last major thing that's been added is, just casually 160 mining drills of copper doing hot air processing for the equivalent of about 1 yellow belt of copper. I say about because there is inefficiency in the inserters on the output that is slowing it down just a little bit. It's just shy. You can see occasionally these little tiny gaps on the output here, just from compression issues and and the speed of the inserters to output. But yeah, if I upgraded the inserters, it should be a lot closer to the actual 15. And I could use the unloaders, that's true. It's just, I don't care because, well, I also have the stuff from the main base, and this is going to change. This is going to change because today I am going to immediately, first thing is first, I am going to immediately plop down engine units. How does that change things? That changes things a lot, because with engine units I can officially start doing the better Pyro ores processing, and I'm going to officially say that that is on the books for off-screen work. Now that I can make the buildings that I need to make for Pyro ores processing of these ores, I will do so off-screen. If you want to see what it looks like at each phase, want to see it built, refer to my tutorials, because I have tutorials for all of that. So, yeah, engine units. Right here. I will eventually get the better recipe for this, but for now, it's pipe, parts, and plate. How much pipe? Not much pipe. Copy, paste that there, set this to pipe instead. How do I want to do this? How do I want to do this? How many is that? 7? Need more stuff here? Assembling machines? This is 1. 15. Don't think I need that many. I might leave it at 5. Yeah, that should be fine. And then aluminium and small parts. I'm just trying to think. Do I want to just do a mixed belt with the small parts and aluminium? I think so. That'll come up here. then that'll feed down over a little bit, and this will be iron. There we go. There's the iron. Aluminium, spell parts. Okay. Mixed belt. There's that. And then just need the aluminium. It's been a little bit since I've done this with the bus. This type of stuff with the bus. Anyway, I need power. And then that's that, right? Pretty sure. Do I want them on the bus? Well, for now, I want it in a chest. So that'll be, stuffs. Yeah, stuffs. Things. Glorious things. There we go. Our first engine units. Glorious engine units. That unlocks so many things. I'm gonna pick up more underground belts while we continue our discussions here. I also have on the agenda for the day, outside of finishing circuits, the production of chromium. That is on the agenda for the day as well, as I walk right past my underground belts. So chromium. Chromium is going to require syngas in order to mine it. And as I said last time, the convenient method of making syngas is through the gas refineries, which, yeah, is totally the reason why I set up Nextlet. Is so that I could make gas refineries. Because these do require a little bit of Nextlet, 5 Nextlet each. And that was the limiting factor why we couldn't make it initially. But, yeah. So, stone-based tar for tailings for Nextlet. You can get tailings by washing for sand. Like, you can do soil to sand and get tailings, and then void the sand to just focus on a supply of tailings as a dedicated source, and that'll give you a very dedicated setup for Nextlet if you really want to do that. So you can do that really early. We are still at red science, technically. So, yeah, we can do this. We can do this. So this is natural gas into syngas and flue gas, which can give you a fairly consistent supply of ash if you are interested in that as well. But at the moment, at red science, you do not have access to filters to do anything with the flue gas. So just bear that in mind. Now, what I need to pay attention to is this right here. This right here tells me that I need to be out by 3 on the syngas to avoid complications. I have natural gas. I'm mining natural gas from small oil derricks. I have 8 of them.